Hello, everybody. Welcome to another version of the podcast with me, as I think I've been putting the titles, the grumpy old man, along with vlogger Darren, and obviously ex-pro Nigel. Chaps, how you both doing? Darren, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, Gaz.
But we'll come on to that later.
Yeah.
Nigel, how have you been?
Yeah, I had a great weekend, mate. Derby getting promoted. I had a great night last night at the Grapes. So, brilliant weekend so far.
Good. All right, I'm just getting this shared onto some relevant places. It's already on yours, Nigel, so that's good. Right, okay. We've got a lot to cram in today. People, again, I just want to remind us, people come on, and I'll do this throughout the podcast. You can get involved, people. Just jump on and send us a message, and get involved with the conversations. If you want to talk about something or us to debate something, then just drop a comment on whichever platform you are viewing it on, and you will, or we will, should I say, see that. Okay, look, busy podcast. So let's crack in now. Want to start with Leagues 1 and 2, gentlemen. We'll touch on, obviously, the Championship and the Premier League, although they're still live. Then we're going to move into non-league and any other little bits and bobs then in that. So I'm going to race the show along. Again, I just want to remind everybody, get involved, drop us a message, or just say hi. Chaps, how you doing? That would be great as well. So let's crack straight in then. Right, okay, let's start with League 1. Derby County. Nigel, way, mate. Derby up, massive, 30,000 people on the pitch by the looks of it. What a day for Derby County, back up where they should be.
Yeah, brilliant. The town deserves it. I mean, they're passionate about the football, and like I said, 30,000 people at a League 1 match is not really heard of. So, the town was partying all day and all night last night, and I think there'd be a few people waking up. We saw it this morning, but it must have been a great day, and I'm so pleased to back up again because I've got my two favourite teams in the same division now. So there you go.
Right, so obviously they're Portsmouth gone up as champions, and I'm pleased for them. Two good clubs going up into Championship. Darren, what are your thoughts on the two going up, Portsmouth, Derby, two big clubs?
Yeah, for a start, obviously the league table doesn't lie, so whoever comes in the top two deserves it. Derby, I don't know why I'm especially happy about Derby going up. And it's not just because of Callie's connection. I think they've been there or thereabouts all season. It's been a bit nip and tuck. You had Bolton, strongly in the race as well, didn't you, for a while? Peterborough have been a bit of a dark horse for me, but the cream rises to the top, as they say, and Portsmouth and Derby, Championship football next season.
And just touching on the playoffs, Bolton, Peterborough, Oxford United and Barnsley, Lincoln having that amazing run that we discussed last week, just missing out literally by a couple of points there. Any favourites in that for you guys? Bolton, Peterborough, Oxford, Barnsley. What do you think?
I fancy Peterborough to go up, actually. I would, about 4 weeks ago, I would have fancied Barnsley, but they dropped off a bit. I mean, I died for Lincoln in a way. I'm not a Lincoln supporter, but on the run they had to against Portsmouth, and you're sort of half thinking, well, maybe Portsmouth would put out a young side or give a few people players chances, but it sounds like they put out their first team. So, shame on that, but if they keep that form going into the next season, they're going to be up there, aren't they? I fancy Peterborough. I think Peterborough got something about them.
Darren?
I'm in total agreement, actually. Peterborough, obviously they just won the EFL trophy, didn't they, against Wickham a couple of weeks ago? So they're buoyed with confidence. Barnsley, interestingly enough, didn't they sack their manager midweek?
I think they did.
They've just limped in, haven't they? But
doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But
no, it doesn't. But they've been on a poor run apparently since February, March time, and the owners decided they couldn't take a chance. But like I said, they limped in at the expense of obviously Lincoln. I can't. Oxford. a bit of a funny team. And I know a lot of the traditionalists would quite like Bolton to do it because they're a big
I think I'd like to see
Portsmouth and
Bolton
Derby.
do it.
But yeah, I agree with Kelly. Peterborough for me.
Well, I'm going to go with Bolton because I'd like to see that's three sides going up there. I'd like to see go up. We've got the two. So I'll go Bolton, you two go Peterborough. Let's just have a look at who's been relegated. Cheltenham obviously eventually did get relegated along with Fleetwood, Port Vale and poor old Carlisle. Now, I've got to say something about the Derby game, funny enough. Now, we mentioned about the big crowd there. I've got to say there was over 2,000 Carlisle fans there yesterday and they'd been relegated. What a support. I mean, that's a hell of a journey. One hell of a journey, Carlisle down to Derby, you know, and 2,000. You've got to take your hat off to them.
Yeah, where they're based in the country, they really do have a good away support generally.
Yeah.
And, usually it's like the top teams, isn't it, talks about with a good away following. But yeah, you've got to take your hat off to Carlisle throughout the season. Every season, they take good numbers with them.
They do. That was an amazing support. Being that they'd already been well and truly relegated there. Okay, let's move into League Two then. Stockport, deserved winners, I think. Promoted along with them is Wrexham and Mansfield. Playoffs, MK Dons. Doncaster, after their amazing run of wins. Absolutely, what a turnaround that. And Crewe and Crawley getting in there in the end. Pretty tight for them playoffs, actually, it was. There's only a couple of points in the top 10, of the playoff areas. Right, so, thoughts on that then, Darren?
Yeah, well, Barrow just missed out, and they've been up there or thereabouts all season, so they must be pretty gutted. Obviously, the free automatic places were sewn up a couple of weeks ago now, so it's just about. It was basically about who would get the other slots along with Dons. Just looking at it, obviously MK Dons against Crawley and Doncaster versus Crewe. I can see a Dons v Doncaster final, and I think Donny will do it. Doncaster, that is.
You know, you shouldn't say that word Dons, though. I'm sorry, Darren.
MK Dons. Oh, it's not my club. I don't care.
Nigel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, before going to, I think I'll get off for the playoffs. I mean, looking at the three teams that are going up, it's quite interesting because Stockport won the league, but you're going from League Two into League One. You're going to have to obviously strengthen the squad. Going forward, it looks like Wrexham are probably the only ones out of them three that are going to have the finances to go to, go out and get better players. So I'm not sure.
It's interesting. Sorry, Nigel, cut across. Yeah. I just want to say it's interesting you say that because all right, I know they've got this big Hollywood backing, and obviously the two guys will earn an awful lot of money out the next season of Wrexham on the soap opera that's become. But they don't seem to have enough money to rebuild the Kop stand there. So have they got the investment?
Well, thing is though, getting on to the next level, like going from League Two to League One, that's get a bit of financial gains out of that, and it might encourage more people to invest in the club. So as teams go forward, more people want to get on board with them. So, and I think out of them three, Wrexham are probably the only ones that'll probably get that sort of backing, if you know what I mean. But getting onto the playoffs, I'm a great believer in teams arriving with a momentum and a run, and I'm probably with you, Darren, with Doncaster have been brilliant in the last 7-8 games. So I'd be siding with Doncaster as well.
Yeah. I think it's I think it'll be Darren, that's your fault. Milton Keynes.
Winkelmann's fault.
Milton Keynes, Doncaster in the final. But I think Doncaster,
So that's unanimous.
Yeah, unanimous.
Unanimous. And into non-league drop, Forest Green and Sutton United. I know, like yesterday, Colchester was a bit worried about it all because they could have come a cropper, but no, Forest Green and Sutton United dropping into the non-league, which, in all fairness, for them two clubs is probably about their level, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there's life outside of the Football League, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Sutton are fairly new to Football League anyway, aren't they?
Yeah. Stuart Higgins mentions investment is coming from states in the form of advertising, etc. So they're probably the only ones out of the three that are going to get a significant injection of cash, I would imagine, from going up.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I think part 3 of East. I mean, Wrexham is. I'm sorry, I just think it's a bit of a circus, but there you are. And I think it's Emmy award-winning show now, isn't it? You know, they're not stupid, them two fellas, are they?
Yeah,
they're making a lot of money out of these.
I mean, I don't know what goes on below the glitz and glamour of and like you touching on finances and building the cop. Like I said, it's all like it's all shop window and it looks all lovely, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But one thing's for sure, on the field where it really matters.
Oh yeah,
they're prevailing, aren't they?
And the Wrexham fans, it's brought their team back to life.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing about Wrexham is, though, it's like this isn't a fairy tale of this is a non-league club that started with nothing and have gone up. I'm being quite critical of them, actually, I suppose. I don't mean to be. But Wrexham have been a big club within their own right anyway. You know, I mean, I remember us playing Wrexham quite regularly. I remember them playing West Brom in a FA Cup semi-final. You know, back in, I mean, oh Christ, that would have been 70s. But yeah, I mean, the Wrexham were a quite established league club for some time. You know, in Division 2, which is currently the Championship as well. So yeah, it's a fairy tale. Fairy tale would be someone, you know, like I don't know. Brackley. We'll come on to them later. Right, look, like I say, there's so much to get through. Let me quickly just say good evening to Carol Gilmore. Great result for Derby. And Stuart Higgins, good evening. Investment is coming from the States in the form of advertising, etc. Yeah, Stuart, you're absolutely right. And good luck to them. But I do think it's a bit of a soap opera. But there we are. That's my opinion. And, you know, I'm a grumpy old man and can never, ever be not, you know, I have to be the grumpy man, but I think, you know, the fans, it's great for them, innit, and good for the club. I just hope that they see it through with the club and don't, you know, when the show runs out. Wrexham will be in the Championship very soon. It's a circus, but the Americans are buying into this like a soap opera. Yeah. Look, the Americans are buying into everything in English football, Stuart. If we're honest, aren't we? They own.
I wouldn't bet against it. That's for sure.
No, I wouldn't bet against it. No. They need to. I just don't understand why they're not doing the ground improvement. You know, that is fairly basic stuff in a lot of ways. You know, if they've got that amount of backing, but as Nigel said, we'll see what happens next season. Swiftly moving along. We're going to go backwards and then we're going to finish with non-league. But let's. It looks like Forest are 1-0 down against City. Haaland scored. Anyway, we're going to come on to the Premier League. We'll touch on the Premier League Championship now. That really has become interesting. I'm going to mention now we've got all the people going up and everything like that, but I've got to mention one team here and see what your opinions are on it. Sheffield Wednesday. Dead and buried all season, and now it looks very much like they're safe.
Me, I'm quite happy to go here. Well, my team QPR was fighting at the bottom with them for much of the season. So until we were safe on Friday, obviously I was hoping all the worst luck possible for Sheffield Wednesday because I want them to go down as opposed to us. But now I've got a clearer mind. Now they are one of the sleeping giants, aren't they? And they shouldn't be languishing at the bottom of the Championship. I grew up with them as a first division side and a very decent one at that. So, yeah, I'm hoping that Wednesday climb climb through the league, but not at QPR's expense.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's all on. I'm just looking at it now, and it is all on. Look, Huddersfield have finished. Rotherham have finished. Well, Rotherham have finished about 6 months ago, I think. But it's really sitting between 4 clubs. Blackburn, who you're surprised. I'm surprised they're there actually. Blackburn, Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth, and Birmingham. At the moment, Birmingham are in the worst position. But there is literally, Birmingham have got to win. Actually, Birmingham don't look like they've got to win by a lot of goals if they're going to get over Plymouth, and they ain't got no chance of getting over Blackburn.
They're on the same difference as Blackburn does.
Birmingham have got Birmingham
on the same goal difference as Blackburn, so it depends on.
They have. Sorry.
Depends on who scores the most goals on the day. If Blackburn lose and Birmingham win 3-0, they go up. Or they stay up.
Yeah, this is really interesting because Sheffield Wednesday are still in a precarious position, but I still think they've made an unbelievable comeback. But let's. I'm just going to see. So, is it next week or next Sunday the championship?
Birmingham are at home to Norwich.
They are Birmingham and Norwich, which is Norwich are in the playoffs by looks of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Plymouth are at home to Hull. And Wednesday, drum roll.
Right, Sunderland.
Yeah.
It's all up in the air, isn't it? I still think Sunderland, though, I thought were dead and buried. I thought they were finished. Yeah. But they've come back well. So fair play to them. Just want to quickly backtrack a touch because Stuart Higgins is talking about the Wrexham discussion we had. Answer, look at Luton as a whole. And their history ground still the same. Stuart, it is still the same. And I'm not being funny. I ain't going to say it, but it ain't the greatest ground you'd ever see, is it? It's quite poor. But I don't think Luton have got the investment. I mean, I'll tip my hat to Luton what they've done this year. And they rushed another stand up, didn't they?
But
that's the point. They did invest.
Stand.
Sorry?
Wasn't that Bobblers stand?
They did. I mean, to be fair to them, they've done well to get that new stand up so quick. Yeah. You know, they didn't expect to go up, did they? Let's be honest. And I think they had to invest 10 million into getting that stand rebuilt, and they've done really well. But you say the ground's still the same, but they did invest quite a lot of money into bringing that ground up to a better standard. And they don't have the investment Wrexham have got, and I don't think have any potential of leveling that level of investment that potentially Wrexham are going to have now. But about investment in lower leagues, now take away Premier money bags. The rest of the clubs have no chance. Doesn't matter how big these clubs are. He's bringing up some really good points. I mean, these things we discussed, but what we do, I've just, I want everyone to get involved with this. So thank you, Stuart. Other people, look, take Stuart's lead, get involved, drop the message on whatever platform you're on. So we can touch back on a little bit about what Stuart's saying there in a little while, because there is some things to bring up. But let's just finish off on Championship. So, yeah, a really interesting running on the. Sorry.
Just one thing. I mean, if you're a Birmingham fan, you've got to be wondering what the hell's happened this season. I mean, they were fifth in the league, I think, at one point. They sacked the manager, bring Rooney in. They've had to get the other manager was ill. They've got another manager, and they're in the relegation zone now. So, I mean, I feel sorry for Birmingham fans. They must be thinking, what the hell, who's running this club and who's making the decisions on it? Because they should be down there, really.
I mean, yeah, and if you look at the fixtures next week, yes, there's no two ways about it. I mean, Sunderland are not in the greatest form. My God, they got beat by Watford at home yesterday. First Watford win at home since November, so it don't say a lot for them, does it? And then Norwich are in the playoffs, so it's a tough one. Be interesting to see that one, how it comes out. I wouldn't like to call it, actually, to be honest. But going up, obviously Leicester confirmed, promoted during the week. And obviously, are Ipswich playing today?
No, I think they played yesterday, didn't they?
Oh, do you know what? They did.
Yeah, 3-3 against Hull. Yeah.
Yeah, so situation then in that is that Leicester's up. you've got Leeds and Ipswich. I mean, Leeds catastrophic loss to your side, Darren. But yeah, look, they're both on 90 points, but Ipswich do have a game in hand. So Ipswich are in the driving seat, I think, on that.
Yeah.
And that would leave between Ipswich and Leeds. I think it will probably be Leeds, but then you've got Southampton, Norwich, and West Brom, with the possibility of Hull.
Yeah.
So again, that's that. You know what? Who did we say Hull's playing? Blackburn.
I think we did, didn't we? Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at Ipswich's fixtures, away to Coventry and at home to Huddersfield. I think Ipswich will do it. You were just saying about Leeds. Yeah, that's what I think will happen. Yeah, I think Ipswich have got to get 4 points basically.
Yeah,
2 games, haven't they?
I think they'll do it. So I do think the playoffs will be Leeds, Southampton, Norwich, West Brom. Maybe Hull squeezing in there.
Yeah.
And that does also mean.
It's frozen.
Yeah, he's gone.
No, do you know what?
Looking at this, no.
No, the Rosinia, the manager of Hull, he's been nominated in the top 3 for manager of the year in the Championship.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show what he's achieved at that club. And West Brom they're not playing that well at the moment, so it'd be interesting. Yeah.
No, who beat them yesterday without me looking on?
Sheffield Wednesday beat West Brom, didn't they?
It was, and it was 3-0. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hull are in with a shout there. It depends, but again, still a lot to play for in the Championship.
Yeah,
a lot. I think Leicester always were odds on to go up, weren't they?
Yeah, it seems like it. They had their little wobbly. I think we touched on it last week that they had their little wobbly patch less than a month ago. They've rode the storm, haven't they? Yeah, fully deserved champions.
Andrew Hill. Hi, Darren. Andy from Brackley here. Good to meet you earlier. Come on, you Atters. Oh, right.
Andy,
okay, Andy. I'm not going to say no more. I've been good enough to tip my hat to the Hatters. But
Andy was the chap standing next to me when that happened, Gaz.
Right, okay. So no, all right, Andy, stay on because we've got the story to tell, and I believe you were the man that spotted it and helped Darren out. But that is one of the funniest stories of the year. It really is, and I think Nigel can tell you a funny one as well. But we're coming to them in a bit, right? We're going to come to them in a bit. Stuart, I'm going to touch on Stuart a bit later. Stuart, keep that on there. Stay on because we're going to touch on the Premier League now. Then we'll move into non-league and then we can have these other discussions. So moving along again, let's go into the Premier League. So obviously big result for Arsenal today to keep the heat on Man City. Liverpool, wheels come off the bus there, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Arguments as well. Salah and, that would never have happened a year ago.
No, very... quite a poor ending.
It started off really well. It was like a fairy tale ending of winning the treble or the quadruple, and the wheels have just come off the bus now, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know what? There was signs of it happening a few weeks ago. They struggled with a late winner at Forest. They struggled at home to Brighton. Struggled at home to Sheffield United. The signs were there for all to see, and it's happened.
Now today's result, Arsenal-Tottenham, was also a big result for Aston Villa because it basically means it's in Villa's hands to have Championship football next year, Champions League. So because they're 7 points clear of Spurs, but they're 2 games. They've got 2 games in hand. Ben Cliff, hey, we'll come on to that in a minute. So that was a big result today. Obviously, for Arsenal's point of view, it keeps them in the chase. I still say, like Nigel does, City are going to win the league again. I think, Villa. Tottenham blow it out all the time towards the end, don't they? I think Villa are going to get in the Champions League.
Yeah, don't forget.
Result for Villa.
Yeah, just before Christmas, I remember Villa were at home to Sheffield United, and if they'd won, they would have gone top, wouldn't they? So they've been kind of like on the periphery. Yeah, they've done really well, Aston Villa, under Emery, and they're still in Europe as well. You know, and they don't seem to be moaning about tired squads or anything, do they?
No. Mate, I've got to tell in a little while when we move off of the Premier League about a magnificent feat by Charlotte Richards in a little while, but we do that. Let's get the Premier League out of the way. Obviously, still all to play for. Another show to cover the Premier League. I think City all the way. I think we all agree. Well, Darren, what's your thought? I know me and Nigel are City.
Yeah, no, I'm in the Arsenal camp.
You are.
Yeah, like I said last week, I don't think City are what they were even a year ago. Mind you, who is?
City now 2-0 up at Forest, by the way.
Yeah,
finished.
Oh Christ, yeah, 2-0.
That's 4 times out, mate.
Yeah, it is. What a donut.
So Sheffield United play Nottingham Forest next week.
Cool.
That's a big game for Forest. That's a winnable game for them.
They got, yeah.
And, Luton Everton.
Yeah, Luton Everton on a Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, Andy will be there.
And then I think it goes to Forest got Chelsea on the 11th of May. So that's going to be a tough one for them to win.
I don't know. I mean, Chelsea, what are they now? They're just a mid-table side these days, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think they've got better players in the side, in the squad in Forest, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. Just say there, Ben Cliff. Now Haaland's fit again. He fancies Man City. Yeah, I think we all do. But down there at the bottom, obviously Sheffield United and Burnley are still in there as well with a shout, aren't they? They can claw Forest in and Luton, but yeah,
that's a toughie. That's a
toughie, isn't it?
Yeah.
They got good. I think Forest will get a result at Sheffield United. I think they've had it. I think Forest will get the result there. It's again, guys. Obviously it's the end of the coming end of season now. So next week, another round of really important games and playoff finals. Are you happy to do another show next Sunday?
Yeah, I might go. It is.
Cool. Well, we can put a bit more focus in. Now, we're getting quite a bit of feedback here. Bear with me. So I'm going to come back to Stuart Higgins and to Ben Cliff because we've got to give. Hang on, Ben Cliff. He's a Kids Grove supporter and. My table's falling apart here. There we are. And I've got to give them a massive shout out for a charity event they did yesterday, which I'll do in a second. Ben is also Ben. I don't think we've seen much of you since we've kicked him back on. You used to be on every week. It's really good to see you back at it. Carol Gilmore, possible 2 local derbies in the championship. You know Carol. Who does she support?
What sport?
Right. Okay.
It's like
Luton,
what about the fact it could be a Nottingham Forest derby match next year and a Watford Luton match.
So Stuart Higgins saying Luton and Burnley will go. I'm sort of agreeing there. I guess I'm hoping anyway with Luton, but there we are. Shh, Gary, stop it.
Burnley's next 2 games on Newcastle and Tottenham. So, it's going to be if they avoid relegation, they've done brilliant. I still think it's anyone from Forest and Luton that's going to be the third one.
Yeah. Agree. No, Ben, it's good to see you back though, mate. I'm glad that you're getting back involved. People, again, like we're having some really good interaction today. You can put your views across to us. You can ask us to debate whatever you want. Within reason. And just drop a comment on whichever platform you're watching us on, and we will pick it up. Andrew, Luton v Watford next season, 6 points for the Hatters right there. Yeah, come on, Andrew. Behave yourself now. Behave. Right. Now we've got Tom Clare. Just a quick shout out from my side. I've not been very complimentary about Watford for a long time, and I don't know how Nigel feels about this, but I'm so glad they've given Tom Cleverley the job. Probably the cheap way out for the club again, but I really like Tom Cleverley, and he has seemed to have shored the side up a bit, certainly defensively anyway. So I'm really pleased. I really, really hope Tom Cleverley does well, and that we take 6 points off Luton next season. But anyway, I'll stop that now. Look, yeah, let me do the shout out now. This is from Ben Cliff. Wants to give the supporters of Kidsgrove Athletic fans. Now, Kidsgrove is a club based just outside of Stoke, and we've had some interaction with them. Actually, Dan and that went to one of their games up in Widnes last year as well. And these fans are mad. They do fancy dress quite regular. They're really, really good bunch of fans. They get behind their club really, really well. Anyway, they've done a walk from Kidsgrove to Saleybridge Celtic for charity. Walked 37 miles, brilliant effort.
Tremendous.
Excuse me. And raised over £3,000 for charity. So well done, Kidsgrove Athletic fans. Brilliant. You know, more of it, people. Get your clubs, raise charity. You know, there's plenty of people could do a bit of money here and there. But yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant, isn't it? That you know, not the most well-known club, but they've got supporters. You know, that Kidsgrove mean the world to them, and they're doing everything for charity. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So it's great that it's been mentioned on a platform like this.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you know. And they are a great bunch of people. You know, I mean, Ben's a Stoke City supporter, but he follows like a lot of people now. I think they're started. It's become such an expensive thing. Just want a big shout out to our friends at Colton Town. They've got in the playoffs, so they play Stockton away on Tuesday in the semi-final.
Yeah.
That is a tall order. Nigel. We did. You're absolutely right. We went to Colton Stockton last season, didn't we?
Yeah.
And you did the pre-match speech there, and did a talk, you know. And so they've got them in the semi-final on Tuesday night. We wish them all the very best there. We've got a good relationship with Colton, and but I think Stockton are a good side, very good side.
Yeah, yesterday they had an outside chance of winning the league. They were away to Belper down, and who was it? Hebburn, that's it. Hebburn had a surprise home loss at during the week, which made it go down to the final day.
Yeah,
but Hebburn had a win at Sheffield FC, I think it was, and
yes, it was. It was. Yeah, it was Sheffield. Yeah. But yeah, Stockton are a very, very good side. So. You know, we're behind Colton. We want them to do it. I fear it's going to be a tough arse, but you know, they've had a fantastic season as well. Shout out to them. Now, going to shout out to Carnot Richards. We had their finance guy, their media guy on with us earlier on this season, a month or so ago. Now, Charlotte Richards, and we knew this, like many non-league clubs, have got such a big backlog of games because of how wet the winter's been and their pitches. And we've had this discussion time again anyway. Yeah. But they had to play 9 games in 2 weeks, and they won 6 of them, and they've got in the playoffs.
Gaz, I think it's even better. Gaz, I think it's even better. I think they've played 6 games in 9 days.
Yeah, they probably had to have done.
Incredible, yeah.
You know, it's like, and there you go. You've got all these mega rich superstars complaining about playing a game a week. 6 games in 9 days, and they won 6 games out of the 9 in that period, and it's got them in the playoffs. So a big shout. I did try and make contact with I forget his name now, but I did try and make contact with him actually, see if we could get him on some point to talk about that. An amazing feat there. So just going to move into something else here, and I will come back to some of the comments that are being put on in a bit. But I'm going to give a bit of background, and I'm going to hand over to Darren.
Guys, can I just do a very, very quick shout out to someone? So Kempston Rovers match yesterday. Non-league step 4. The game got abandoned because their young goalkeeper, he either had a cardiac arrest or a heart attack. So yeah, only a young lad, but luckily, he's doing well now. He's in hospital. But I just want to shout out, and his name is Jack Marshall. So Jack, all the best, pal. I hope your recovery is swift.
Yeah, absolutely. That's from all of us at Proper Football as well, Jack. Get well. No one wants to see this happen. It does happen a bit, but I guess, and I say this not in a bad way, but if you're going to have an heart attack, I guess having it at a football ground where they've got equipment and people that might know what they're doing is probably better than sat at home on your own or something.
Yeah, I spoke to his manager. I spoke to his manager earlier, and he was in the Met Police for like 30 years, so he was kind of like used to people like having episodes and stuff like that. But he said literally everyone was like fantastic. So yeah, that's another good side for non-league.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Get well. Right, going to give people a bit of background here. We've got a few funny things as well. Bit of background here is in the Northern Premier Midlands Division. All I'm going to say is, before I hand over to Darren, a little bit of background is one of the clubs, Loughborough Dynamos, and this is not good news, by the way, people, but Loughborough Dynamos have actually, and Nigel, you'll have a comment on this because you've spoke about this sort of thing before, have actually finished 6th in their league and have had to request to be relegated because they literally can't afford to obviously stay in that league. And this isn't the first time this has happened in non-league football. I've heard of it 2 or 3 times last year. I've not heard of it since this year, but this is the first one I've heard of. But there might be other clubs out there. I know there are clubs that have said we don't want to go up. They've won their league. We're staying here. We can't afford to go up. Loughborough Dynamos have had to request after their best ever season, hitting 6th spot, have had to request relegation. That had a real big effect on something else. Darren, for those of you who don't know, Darren does a vlog. You must catch him. You can catch him. The links are all in Proper Football. He does vlogging all over non-league football. Fantastic work he does. And you were at a game yesterday, which has a massive influence on what I've just discussed. So far away, mate.
Yeah, ramification. Yeah, so I was at Walsall Wood versus AFC Rushden and Diamonds. I try not to bore the arse off everybody, but to cut a long story short, in January, Diamonds were dead and buried, but they've managed, over the last few months to haul themselves to just behind Rugby Town in the last relegation place. So they needed to better Rugby Town's result yesterday to stay up and jump Rugby Town. They won 2-0 on the day, but Rugby Town won 3-0. So congratulations to Rugby Town first and foremost. So that relegated the Diamonds. So when I'm doing a vlog, I usually like to get a few interviews. And because the vlog was particularly aimed at Diamonds yesterday, I was like, I might struggle to get a few interviews. But a player called Cairo Taylor came out and done an interview. Very solemn, as you expected. I spoke to a few people off camera. Yeah, they've just been relegated. They put on a monstrous effort to get within touching distance, and then it was just a game too far. So the atmosphere was flat. I finished off all my filming yesterday, and then someone sent something through to me that Loughborough Dynamo have issued a statement of wanting voluntary relegation, which is incredible. Incredible. This is their best season ever. This is the highest they've ever reached. I think it was 6 in step 4.
6,
and and for this news, it's just like everyone was like, "Whoa!" And that includes Rushden. Suddenly they're like, "Well, hang about. Does that mean that we might stay up?" So that was the talk amongst a lot of the players. The precedent usually is when that would happen. Loughborough Dynamo would drop down the league, and Rushden would stay up. But one other quick thing: I was at Rushden a few weeks ago, and they're playing at home to Loughborough Dynamo. And I was talking to a couple of their supporters before the game. And they said to me that something was really interesting. Now, quote unquote, but their manager wasn't there. Their assistant manager wasn't there. And it was basically some fella and some subs on the bench. So I thought that's a little bit strange. So even weeks out I wonder if there was something going on in the pipeline, in the background, which would make this decision relevant, really. Yeah, who knows? But I feel awfully sorry for everyone involved, the fans, the staff, and there will be people that were kept in the dark about this, which is like really, really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what did the players do about it? You know, obviously, as a player, you want to get as high up in the standard of football you can get. So, you know, they've done that well, and then find out that the team, they want to get them relegated. It's a really hard situation because we don't. A lot of it's financial, and the only way that they could probably get themselves relegated is not to win matches, but that's then throwing matches and then get done for that, or put the weakest side they can put. But again, they could get done for match fixing. So they're in a terrible situation where there's no corners to turn to at the moment. You know, and like I say, everybody wants to win and do well, but if you go up, you can't afford it. You know, you're going to be in danger of going out of business. And like I said, you can't control whether you go down or stay up. It's how will you play on the day, isn't it? But I don't know any player that would want to go out and play a football match at any standard and have to throw it. So that's where the problem has come. You know, even though the footballers probably know the club can't afford to go up, no player's going to go out there any standard and want to lose a match.
It's true, because it's a weird situation, isn't it? Because winning matches tends to bring fans, which can only be good for the club. But like you say, if you win matches and there's a likelihood or a chance that you could go up and you can't afford it because dodgy finances or whatever, it's a proper catch-22 situation. I remember you telling us, Callie, you've played non-league football. You're familiar with that sort of thing happening, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a feel-good factor for the fans as well. You know, if the team's losing every week, they're not going to want to come in the end. They're going away disappointed all the time, supporting the side. So they want the success that goes with it, even if they don't go up. As long as they're having a good season, but knowing that a club's been promoted, but they're saying we don't want to go up, or a club's asking to get relegated. I don't know what the solution is in that really, because. If the league say no, you can't voluntarily get relegated, where do they go then?
I'm going to take this opportunity to backtrack a couple of questions actually that I missed Stuart Higgins, because like I say, people really want to encourage interaction here for everyone to get involved. Drop your comments and we will do our best to cover them. And I'm going to Stuart's been very active, so at some stage I did a report on teams that were in the Premier League that now are playing lower than Championship level. I think it's 10, and that's down. Is that down to owners stripping the clubs as to why big clubs are big but struggling? So I hear where he's coming from here, because you've got the likes of Sunderland that have been all dropped down there, your Derby counties. I think the question is how these potentially massive clubs. I don't know the answer, to be honest. I don't know. I think there's just. I think, Stuart, if I'm going to give an answer, I'm going to see what the other two guys think. But I'm going to. My opinion is, doesn't matter how big you are. I think it all depends on who owns you. We deem a big club a lot by the size of ground and fan base, don't we? So we deem Leeds a big club because it's got a huge fan base. We deem Derby a big club. We deem, if you look at some of the other clubs that have gone down, like lesser big clubs that you would deem. But I don't think it's about whether you're a big club. It's about who owns you these days. If you're owned by an Arab or an American, you're probably going to do all right. I mean, Bournemouth's a good example. I mean, I personally don't overly like Bournemouth because I don't like the way they've not put any investment into their ground, and yet they've been in the Premier League now since 2014, and they've got a ground that still only holds 11,000. But they've got money behind them. Anyone who thought that was when they first come up in 2014, everyone, wow, little club Bournemouth coming up. They were the richest club in the Championship that year. They were backed by a Russian at the time, and they had a lot of money, a lot of money, more money than they spent, more money than anyone else, and they got up. So that's my opinion. I think it's not about how big you are. It's literally about who owns you now. Darren, Nigel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's about it's like everything in life, isn't it, mate? It's about the money and what you do with it, how you invest it, how you spend it. Now, some people are just scattergun approach with money, aren't they? And they usually end up falling flat on their faces. And in the football's terms, that usually means points deductions or the team going to pot and going down and down and down. Yeah, and we've seen many cases of that happening before. But yeah, I'm strongly I believe it's not necessarily what you've got, it's what you do with it.
Yeah, it's what you do with it as well. And I think what we've got is over the last 5 years a revolution of money in the top tier. Which I mean, use Watford for an example. When that Pozzo family bought Watford out in 2012 or whenever it was, Watford, they got it fairly cheap. You know, the net worth of them owners isn't great, but at the time it was good enough for them to make a challenge in the Premier League. Now, 10 years later, they ain't nowhere near got enough money to deal with investment enough in that club to maintain a bottom of the Premier League, let alone anywhere else. So I think it is about how much money your owners have got, how much they're willing to put into the club, coupled with if they don't manage the club correctly, splattergun the money, like you were saying, Darren, then that's another reason. But Nigel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you're right about the money investment. You know, you need a hell of a lot of money now to sort of get up with the top boys. I think the hardest thing about it is with clubs that are getting promoted from whatever levels. It's like, again, we mentioned about the amount of players that Forest have signed this year. They could be in a bit of financial trouble if they go down. It's like some of these sides are having to decide whether to gamble the cash to probably keep them in that next level, or do we play it safe because we think we'll probably go down again anyway. So it's not all about how much money's invested in the club. It's how much of a gamble you've got to take, because you have got to gamble to get success these days. You can't buy it at the moment. There's only a few teams that can buy that success, and they're at the top of your Premier League. Yeah. So a lot of the time, I think it is a gamble with who you sign, how much money you pay players, and this is not just at O level. This is going right the way down to the non-league levels.
Yeah,
no, absolutely. Stuart, I did miss the Brighton question. Fantastic question. I'd love to bring that up next week if that's all right with you. If you can remind me, but I will write down. It's a great question, but we'll do that next week if that's all right. Next week, Sunday, 6 o'clock, people. It is bank holiday next week, so you ain't got to get up for work. Have a few beers. Come on, have a laugh with us. Why not? Why not? Okay, let's just check where we are now with people. Also, our club captain. Oh, okay. Talking about the seizure. Also, Ben Cliff. Also, our club captain had a seizure on the pitch versus Avro at our ground, and luckily we have a defibrillator, and everyone acted very quickly. Yeah, no, defibrillators at sports grounds are essential. Not every sport ground has got one. Please see our social media, people. Go on the social media, Facebook and all that. We have been for some time trying to raise money for a defibrillator and we're hitting a fair good amount, but it's been quite slow progress. We had a GoFundMe up and that, but we're trying to raise the money for a defibrillator to give to a sports ground to do with youth and grassroots football that don't have one currently. So please, if you can support that, that'd be great. I know London defibrillators have said that if we can reach a target, they will make the rest up, which would about £300 or £400 that they would make up for us to do that. So that would be really, really good. Girls go ground hopping. Darren is a legend. Keep up the good work. I've seen some of their work, actually.
Cheers, Tony.
Yeah, I've seen some of their work the other day. Yeah, I'll see some of that. Fair play, girl. Is it girls that do the ground hopping?
Yeah. Tony takes his 2 young daughters ground hopping.
Yes, that's it. Now you remind. Yeah, I have seen
really,
some
really
of their work.
Really, really good.
Yeah,
it's very heartwarming as well.
Mate, listen. Tell him that we're always open to help promote on our website any work he does, like we do with yours.
Yeah, you do.
So get in touch with through Darren or whatever. and we'll always. Darren is a legend.
Not even in my own household.
No, your grand op in the way you do it, Darren, is really, really good. Really, really good. I love watching them. I really do. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of a funny to finish with, but before I do that, we've got some congratulations. We've already congratulated Charlotte Richards and Colton Town. So Solihull Moors, they've reached the final for the Nash. What's that? That's
National League.
Yeah,
National League. Yeah,
yeah. Braintree Town have reached the final. Have they reached? Yeah, they've reached the final semis, isn't it? Yeah. Braintree Town beat Chelmsford in a local derby.
National League. That's the National League South. That is.
Yeah, National League South semi-final.
Yeah.
Boston United beat beat Scunthorpe over 8,000 at that game as well. Boston United winning there. And I'm going to touch on Darren has just come back from another playoff semi-final, but I need him to explain what happened to him. Well, and then Nigel will come in with a little fun.
Well,
Darren, tell him about the game a little bit, but more something happened to you. Sorry.
Well, I'm not a very good storyteller, so I ain't going to make it very funny. But at the last game today, I decided to attend the National League North semi-final between Brackley Town and Chorley. The game itself, it wasn't really much. I'd say Chorley had a bit more of the ball, but Brackley had the better chances. I thought it had 0-0 written all over it till 12 minutes ago. Brackley scored the only goal of the game. I was cheering on Brackley because they're like only 7 miles away. Anyway, part of my cheering on Brackley, and I'm not vlogging the game, by the way, halfway through the second half, a Brackley player goes through 1-on-1 with a goalie. He's got so much time, and inexplicably, he decides to get closer to the goalie and take it around him, and then he fluffs his chance. So I'm on the front with Andy, who we alluded to earlier, the Luton fan, and I shout out saying, "I'm like, for Christ's sake," whatever, like that. And I've got a denture in my mouth, so that just went boop over the advertising board. And it's quite a drop. You know, I was in the front, but it's quite a drop. So I'm now a bit gaffy. So first of all, I'm thinking, keep my mouth shut now. Secondly, I've got to get my denture. Has anyone seen that? Andy's seen it. So although I'm a 6-footer, I'm leaning over the advert board, but I can't quite reach. So obviously my feet have to come off the ground, and I'm hoping that I don't go arse over tit. Sure enough, it was all right. I managed to get it. I was make sure no one was watching. I make sure Andy was looking another way. Then I put it in, and I thought, "Oh, I've got some grass in it as well." So yeah, I was doing that sort of like on the blind side of Andy. Andy, you didn't know that bit, but now you do, mate. So yeah, that was a bit embarrassing for me, but thank God, National League North matches aren't covered by multiple camera angles.
Oh, mate, that's brilliant. Now I know Nigel because we talked about this before.
Mine's always only, mate.
Nigel had something that was matching that. So, but before we do, Ben, he's off to work. Thanks. I hope you can join again, mate. We love having you on.
Yeah,
and Andrew knew what was coming. He mentioned. But yeah, what was that funny story you told us then, Nigel?
I should be saying on here. No, just it was. I had a post on my front tooth, which I knocked out going ice skating when I was a pro footballer for Watford, which I shouldn't have done. So I had to make up an excuse about that. And then when I gave it up in football, and I'm over working in Corfu, and I met this nice girl, and we've had a little kiss and a cuddle on the beach, and my tooth fell out, and because it was dark, it got buried in the sand, and that was the end of that. I was toothless all summer. What time were your tooth to come out in the sand at night?
Nigel, you were toothless at Aston Villa, weren't you?
Yeah.
I'm only kidding, mate.
Right, we've had some laughs. This is brilliant. So look, I've got a couple of things. Now, one more congratulation that I'd like to bring up, and I think I mentioned this. Benidorm Football Club are having a fantastic season. Now, Benidorm Football Club have got a very, very big British support, and I'm not sure if they still are, but they were British owned as well. Like, it was a British owner. We all know Benidorm's half British, isn't it, really? But yeah, they actually, as good a season as I said they were having, is a little bit better now because they are now champions.
Hey.
Campeones.
Champione, yeah. So, yes, so you start arranging the quality of football and improve. They're going up. So next season, folks, start planning your little trips out of Benidorm to take in a football. Cheap as chips as well, about €10 a ticket. Unbelievable. Yeah, so they've won the league. Well done, Benidorm. Chaps, I think we're finished with this. You ain't going to see goals like this very often, but probably never again. But anyway, not that we maybe would see on camera, but here we go. So that was Basingstoke versus, I think, Dorchester. And the funny thing about that, I mean, from his own area, but it didn't. It came in off the post as well, didn't it?
Incredible, isn't it?
You won't see a goal many. Yeah. Didn't Steve Sherwood score a goal once like that?
Yeah,
at Coventry?
Coventry. I'll tell you what, outside, because it went over Steve Grisovich. I went up for the header. And Grisovich went to punch it, but it went straight over him.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't see many coming from that far away.
I missed the penalty against Coventry when the Grisovich was in goal. I'm not kidding you. I could not have put this ball any nearer the post, inside the post. And he's about 6'7", and he just put an arm out like that and stopped it. And it was like,
Grisovich.
Yeah. Oh,
he's a good goalkeeper, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Goalies had to stand still that day as well. Them days.
Yeah.
That's
some big players at Coventry in them days, you know. Brian Kilcline, he was another one. Remember him?
Yeah. I've seen highlights of Boston's game at Grimsby, and it went to penalties. And mate, you'd have thought the goalkeeper, the Scunthorpe goalkeeper, was at a big frigging rave.
Yeah,
he was doing a grobbler, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's changed now, isn't it? Like I said, the goalie weren't allowed to move till the ball was kicked, and now they can dance along the side of the line. You know?
He was dancing along, and
What do you remember, guys? Ian Bolton scored from well inside our own half against Rotherham.
I can't remember, mate. Yeah,
it's from just outside our box.
That's on TV somewhere. I've seen it.
The wind's carried it further than the keeper thought, and it's just gone straight over the keeper's head. But that was like just outside our box. He's hit the ball.
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
I'm sure I saw that on the Big Match Revisited some months back. I don't know if you watched that at 10:30 on a Saturday morning, but that's brilliant.
No, Nigel wouldn't. He's working till about 3 in the morning.
Of course he is.
Yesterday.
Right, okay, we'll wrap it up, chaps. So before we go round the table, I just want to say you can catch Nigel on his Mixcloud tonight, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah.
9 o'clock. Catch him on his Mixcloud. Just jump on his Facebook, you'll find him. Nigel Callaghan. Darren, catch Darren's vlog. Walsall Manor versus Walsall Wood versus Russian Diamonds. Catch that one. And I did try and upload it. Oh no, that was today's game, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, anyway, never forget it. But yeah, all right, we are going to come on next week then because there's so much going on. Yeah. Obviously, the end of the championship. I'm really interested in seeing what happens at the bottom of the championship. I have to be honest, and at the bottom of the Premier League. I'm not so bothered about the ups and downs. The downs look more interesting. So can't wait to review them next week and hopefully some of the playoffs that have taken place in the non-league scene. People, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm so pleased people have interacted so well today. It's brilliant. Been absolutely brilliant. Thank you all very much. Please, please, please join us again next week. This is what makes it all worth it. Steve did. Yes, Steve showed it. I think, Nigel, we did an interview with Steve, didn't we, last season? We had him on the show, Steve Sherwood. Remember? And he did talk. I'm sure he talked about that goal. No, he talked about the Luther Blissett goal against Arsenal. That was right. But
let's get some room for that.
Say again, mate.
Yeah, it'd be good to get one of the ex-Watford players on for that 40 years cup final thing.
Yeah. 40 years since Watford were in the FA Cup final against Everton on the 19th of May, which was a Sunday. So we're going to see if we can get a couple of the ex-players. It'd be good to get an Everton player as well, wouldn't it? Who have I got on my little book? Who's Everton? I don't know if he was at West Ham at the time, though. Can't remember now. What was his name?
Cotty?
Anyway. Huh?
Tony
No, it's another one.
Mark Ward? Mark Ward?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Mark Ward. I've interviewed Mark before, and he's got quite a coloured past, you know.
Yeah.
Shady one.
Yeah.
Well, got any talk openly about that, mate? He got done for drug dealing, didn't he?
Yeah.
Why he was playing. Oh, he's a character, mate. He loves West Ham. He loves West Ham. But I don't know if he was playing that day in the cup, Mark Ward. I don't think he was.
No.
But yeah, it would be good to get one on. But anyway, all right, we'll go around the table then. Darren, last words from you.
Yeah, I've got no invites for a vlog next week, and there's going to be a lot of playoffs. So I'm open to any offers from any managers, owners, chairmen, whatever. And I just read that Tony said David Villa owns Benidorm as well. So not a lot of people know that. David Villa.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he owns Benidorm. That's what Tony said, and he was there when they got promoted. So not a lot of people know that. Thanks for that, Nuggets own.
No, I remember that well as well, Stuart. Yeah, what a day that was. FA Cups as they used to be. Isn't it a shame they've gone the way they have? But never mind. Nigel, last words.
Started off with it and I finished off with it. Well done at the Derby County. Back in the Championship. Pleased for all the fans. Let's hope Watford show an improvement next season. But I look forward to the two clubs playing each other. And there's a good connection between Watford and Derby with players making a journey back, Watford to Derby or Derby to Watford. And if we get Luton down, it'll be a good derby. And if Forest come down, it'll be a good one for Derby County. So, yeah, it's all going to be happening next Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Well, folks, last words from me are simply, Pidge, he's only just logged in. Don't worry, mate. Just go back on our Facebook and that, and on our social media platforms and watch it again. It's interesting. You'll like it. Go back and have a gander through, mate. He's only just logged on, but yeah, you can. And again, if anyone's just joined us, want to watch the whole podcast, just go on any of our platforms. They're all there. Okay. Callie, will you attend the Vic? Well, me and Callie were down there for the Southampton game, weren't we?
Yeah.
Invited down by Luther.
Yeah, there's a good chance I'll be down there for that game.
Be interesting to see if the club obviously have played their last game now. So
the problem when I come down with you before.
Celebrate it.
The problem when I come down with you before was that my train was late, weren't it? So we didn't get a chance to go and have a drink anywhere before the match.
Yeah, no.
But definitely on top of the Vic.
The only bad thing about it being 40 years, it just reminds me how old I am, really. Don't like that at all.
You had a head of hair.
And I had hair. Yes, I did have hair then.
I was buying the Rovers then.
I'm going to tell you a quick story about that, and I'm sure people don't mind that. It's all about a bit of football talk. But I remember I went down to queue up because them days you had to go and queue up, didn't you, for tickets for the FA Cup? Well, I went down to queue up, and I went down quite early. And I went down there, and I'm not joking. You had to remember the old ticket office on Occupation Road, Nigel. So you had a queue to go in there, and the queue must have been about 4 miles long when I turned up. People have been sleeping out all night, but that's what. And there's nothing special. A lot of clubs did. That's what the FA Cup meant. People would sleep out all night to get their tickets, and I never forget. I looked at it and I thought, bollocks, I ain't doing this, and I went home. I thought I'll find a way of getting a ticket. So anyway, I knew them days, if you remember, they would give each club 25,000 tickets. Bearing in mind Wembley was 100,000. And then I don't know if people remember this, but they what's that? Gary, can you tell the story better than Dean Saunders? What story's that? Sorry. Anyway, so I went down and I got a ticket off a mate because they used to distribute about 3 tickets to every club in the FA. I don't know if you remember that. Every club would get a ticket, and that doesn't obviously happen anymore. But that was good because clubs could raffle them and get some funds in for their club. But a mate of mine, he had these complimentary tickets up in quite good seats, so he gave me one, and that didn't sound right. And anyway, I got that ticket right, which was complimentary. Then I went down. I'll quickly hurry up. Sorry, I went down, and they used to the old. I thought
that don't sound right either.
I don't want that one, and I thought I want to get in with the Watford fans. I don't want to be stuck up in all that. So anyway, I thought, right, go down by the Hilton. That's where all the touts used to be at Wembley, down by the Hilton Hotel. So I went down there to flog it. I sold it, and I sold it for 20 quid, which was a lot of money then. And I think that the face value for a Wembley ticket was £10. And I sold that, and I bought another ticket for £10. So I'd made a £10, but it was for the Everton end.
Oh,
right. So no, it was all really quite a friendly affair. Like, so anyway, I managed to find an Everton fan who had a Watford ticket, and we swapped. So I actually made profit that day. That's all right.
Brilliant, yeah.
And I got in the end. I wanted to get in, but after many transactions, but I was a £10 up.
That's perseverance for you, mate. Well done.
Anyway, what we got there, Darren, before you go, have you set up pages on all the social media platforms or just YouTube? Question you from Girls Go Ground Up in.
Well, yeah.
The answer's no.
I've got an X account, Twitter account, _71. That's my YouTube, _71. I'm on Facebook, Darren Ashley. Everyone knows that.
And as I say, you can catch all of Darren's blogging, all the links into them. They're on our social media pages and our website. Our website address is chittering away along the bottom there, www.properfootball.co.uk. Have a look at that and you will find Darren's stuff all on there as well. And we'll happily put yours up if you want as well. Just get in touch. Got my tickets off of Paul Atkinson.
Oh, yeah, okay. The old player. Yeah, the old Watford player.
Yeah, did no queuing. That was Stuart Higgins. The story Dean Saunders told, Lowell. I don't know what story they're asking. Do you know what they're asking, Nigel? Because you played with Dean Saunders, didn't you?
Yeah, he's a character. He's a bit of a comedian, Dean. When he's travelling back from away matches, he'd be telling a few stories, and he's got some good stories. Yeah, so I probably know what they're going on about. He can talk for England. Dean.
He knows Welsh. Listen, folks, I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a laugh. Do we pay you or Callie for the website? No. We just want to help people out. You know, read my Dean Saunders comment again. Oh, right, hang on.
You know the cup final, bringing up Paul Atkinson. It was a flick up decision that Taylor had to make whether to play Paul in midfield and play Kenny Jackett at left back, or keep Kenny in midfield and give Neil the left back spot. So unfortunately Paul missed out on that one. But yeah.
No, what he meant was I can tell a story better than. That's a compliment. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, listen, seriously.
You tell a story yourself, you could.
Oh, no. I can talk for England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Listen, proper football, we set this up originally because we love football as it was. We don't love necessarily the modern day and the way that is going. So proper football is all about promoting football, particularly lower league and grassroots football, any sort of football. And yes, we will talk about Premier League. It is part of the thing, but necessarily none of us here probably are overly modern day football fans. And no, we don't charge money. I think we've now set. I'll check, but I'm sure we've now set up, or we will. We've set up a ground hopping page for ground hoppers, so we can promote your work and what you do, so everyone can get the benefit of it. So no, we're just wonderful people here. Well, we are, ain't we? Come on.
And old.
And old, yeah. But yeah, get in touch. We'll happily support you guys. We're going to try and do a bit of ground hopping ourselves next season. I'll see if I can drag Callie along. But then the problem is he does DJing on a Saturday night at the Grapes in #1 DJ in Stafford, by the way.
We'll have to do Stafford Rangers. Go up to Stafford Rangers.
Yeah, we'll have to take in a Stafford Rangers game, and then because we want to come up anyway, and have a night out with Nigel. So, right,
6-2 on the weekend.
I'm waffling on. Time to end it. Should have ended it 5 minutes ago. Everybody, Gary, thanks for the bank details. No problem. Everyone, have a lovely, safe week. Enjoy yourselves. Everyone who's chittering away with their nerves about are they up, are they down, have they won, have they not? Good luck. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you all again next Sunday when I think we'll have a lot of clarity on everything. So until then, au revoir. Let me just set myself up ready to end the stream, and we're ending it now. Here we go. No, that ain't the right one. That is.